Shalom. I want to give all praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rakah HaKodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders, a great millstone that rule well. And peace and salutation to the Akim that's pushing his word in truth and sincerity throughout the four corners of the earth. This is the brother Zion Amath from the GMS Detroit Bar Camp. And I'm coming to you with another video, dealing with the spirit, the importance of the spirit, and just to put it out there, that's what it takes to understand this word. To be of a carnal mindset, to be, a man of so-called logic, because people use logic as if, they just using common sense, or they using worldly, knowledge, worldly so-called wisdom that they believe they can understand this word, because they got a high IQ, so to speak, this, that, and the other. But it takes more than, I'll say it this way, it takes more than a college education, all right, to understand this word, to know what this book is talking about, the Holy Scriptures, okay? All right? Just because you went to Harvard or Morehouse or Yale or whatever have you, all right, that doesn't mean you're going to be able to pick this book up and understand this word, all right? And a great example of that, okay, is John the 3rd chapter, because you had Nicodemus, who was a Pharisee, meaning he was basically skilled in the law, all right? So he was skilled in the law. He knew the whole letter of the law. But to understand the spirit, all right, of the Heavenly Father's word is the difference of night and day. Because it became a time that basically, as our people as a nation, speaking of the so-called Negroes, Latins, and Native Americans of today, all right, you are the children of Israel. Your bloodline goes back to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, okay, who you can read about in the Bible. All right, the Bible is our historical records. It's not just another book, all right? But anyhow, you had our people to where they were so carnal-minded and just keeping the law, like, okay, would the Lord say to do this if I, basically to sacrifice this if I do that? And if I commit this sin, I can sacrifice this, or to even use it as a state of bragging rights, because I'm keeping all these certain laws that makes me more righteous, than the next man. So the Most High, through process of time, he had to do away with that, because our people became wicked as a nation, to where they would do basically premeditated sin, whether it was committing adultery or getting over on their brother or slaying their brother. All right, they were figuring they can basically go ahead and act upon that sin, and then just make a sacrifice, unto the Most High through the priest, and then it'll be all good. But no, but but in doing that, that doesn't make it sincere. It's kind of like it become a point to where it's like you trying to buy the Lord, you trying to pay him off, rather than actually being spiritual and being obedient, okay, and being sincere. Are you doing this thing, for the love of the Most High, for the fear of the Most High, and trying to follow the law, statutes, and commandments? Or are you doing it just because I don't know, how can I say, or are you doing it just to do it? It's about, where does your spirit lie? What's your mindset? What's your intentions? And what you're, pushing out. But again, Yahweh Shai, he broke it down to Nicodemus in John the 3rd chapter. All right. And even a man of Nicodemus, we'll say education, he had a hard time, understanding, the spirit. All right. So I'm going to just kind of read through John the 3rd chapter a little bit. I don't think I'm going to read all of it, but kind of just bounce around and Lord willing be edifying. But this is John 3:1. It says, Yahweh Shai answered, which that's Jesus. For those that don't know, for the people that ignorantly call on Jesus, all right, the true name is Yahweh Shai in the Paleo Hebrew, in the ancient Hebrew, all right. That's the true name of our Savior, Yahweh Shai, all right, Yahweh Shai. It says, answer and said unto him, verily, verily, I say unto thee, except a man be born again, he cannot see the kingdom of the Most High. Right. Which means, and he's going to break it down, but in a nutshell, you have to become a new man. All right. You have to start over. You have to clean the slate with the Most High. You have to forget what you thought you knew, what this world, taught and brought you up in, and do away with all that, all right, and come under the tutelage, all right, of the Spirit, who is set up, through men that the Most High set up to teach this word, all right, to prophesy this word. Just that alone, to believe in that, you have to be spiritual. You can't be carnal minded. All right. It says, Nicodemus saith unto him, how can a man be born when he is old? Can he enter the second time into his mother's womb and be born? Yahweh Shai answered, verily, verily, I say unto thee, except a man be born of water and of the Spirit, he cannot enter into the kingdom of the Most High. So Yahweh Shai is trying to drive it home, like nah, man. Of course now you can't go back into your womb after you've been born already in the flesh. You already walking the earth. You walking and talking. You know what I'm saying? Nah, that's not what we talking about here. Right? As I said, he's talking about being born of the Spirit, right? Which is this truth, right? Coming back into the knowledge of who you are, right? And what your true ideal purpose is on this earth. Who your enemies are, all right? And understanding that there's a better world to come. Don't get caught up in into the ways of this world, this society, this so-called social life, because the scriptures speak of, all things being temporal. So, this is just everything that you see around you is going to be here yet for a moment. All right. In hindsight, okay. But the kingdom of heaven is forever. Right? They say that the saints are going to take the kingdom. All right. And basically rule forever and ever. But just to continue, it says, that which is born of the flesh is flesh, that which is born of the spirit is spirit. Marvel not that I say unto thee, ye must be born again. Alright, don't trip on that, don't get caught up in that. It says, the wind bloweth where it listeth, and thou hearest the sound thereof, but canst not tell whence it cometh, and whither it goeth. So is every one that is born of the Spirit. That reminds me of, I believe it's Isaiah the 30th chapter, to where, it basically speaks on, hearing that word behind thee. Typically when or men that were predestinated to get this word, when you first hear this word, it hits your spirit in a certain manner to let you know that this is the way to walk ye in it, that this is the truth, that it's refreshing. It's like this understanding coming through men I've never heard before, all right, in no religion, all right, okay, in your so-called Christian church, Seventh-day, Adventist or Baptist or Catholic, all right, Muslim, all right, this understanding, okay, you can't get it in no building, all right, or from no carnal man, because it's of the Spirit of the Most High, all right, that hits you. But it says that Nicodemus answered and said unto him, how can these things be? Yahushua answered and said unto him, art thou a master of Israel, and knowest not these things? That's a good point. Like I said, earlier, that Nicodemus was a Pharisee. And he not to say that Yahushua is astonished, but he's just driving the point, like, you're supposed to, know the letter of the law. You would think you would understand the prophecies, all right? Because at the time, when Yahushua was on the scene, all they had was the Old Testament, the so-called Old Testament, all right? That they, I'm sure, read backwards and forwards, but they didn't understand, all right? They didn't have the Spirit, okay? They didn't have the Spirit to know that, basically, a change was going to come, all right, through Yahushua. It says, verily, verily, I say unto thee, we speak that, it says, verily, verily, I say unto thee, we speak that we do know, and testify that we have seen, and ye receive not our witness. If I told you earthly things, and ye believe not, how shall ye believe if I tell you of heavenly things? And that's how, a lot of our people are, is that they come up asking, you're asking questions, from a carnal point of view, and it's, sometimes it's hard because the Most High, frankly, he's blocked the ears of 2/3 of our people. He's giving them eyes that they cannot see, ears that they cannot hear. So even though we speak in plain English, we going in the Bible, bringing out precepts, breaking it down, and it doesn't resonate, So, you try to basically use a parable to compare, to make it relate. And a lot of Jake, they just can't get it. And then you have those select few that do get it, showing you that this thing is spiritual. All right? Just to go behind that. All right? This is Romans 8:5. It says, for they that are after the flesh do mind the things